Hey guys, King of Charms here to be your judge, your jury, and your analyst, and today I bring to you my top 5 teams for the Halloween Cup Ultra Edition, or should I just call this the Ultra Halloween Cup? This is like ultra themed cups are some of the worst cups to have literally ever touched the face of Pokemon Go. Whoever's idea was it, you deserve to be fired, and you are downright stupid. Increasing the barrier to entry to a game where it's already hard enough to attract newer players to the format is dumb. And I don't think anybody at Niantic really gets... well, no one at Niantic is clearly with 2K on Twitch. 2K average on Twitch. They know exactly what they're doing in order to make Pokemon Go PvP such a great thing. If we were at 10K, you have some hope. 2K ain't getting you anywhere, Tootsie Rolls. Just putting that out there. As someone as a moderator for an esports org, that's not gonna happen. I couldn't sell Pokemon Go to my CEO if I gave there's no way I could sell. But if you are interested in this very XL heavy cup, if you don't do this, you do Ultra League, so pick your poison. But before we get started, it's going to be my therapist mental health tip of the day. It's going to be really quick. Make sure you check up on your friends and family. My mom and my family is in Hawaii right now, and sadly, because I have work and whatnot, I won't be able to be there with them. So I have to, unfortunately. But maybe I'll have break time later. But yes, make sure you call your friends and family, make sure you check out, make sure they're good. And without further ado, this is my top 5 teams for the Halloween Ultra League Edition Cup. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, we got Nidoqueen, Drapion, and Gengar. So 2 of these are going to be XLs. Nidoqueen is XL, Drapion is XL. And it takes a lot of XL candy before you can actually get these powered up. Which is why level 50s are terrible for the game. But you know what? It's what it is. We have Gengar as your closer. Gengar... if you could take, the reason why we have Nidoqueen and Drapion is because with Nidoqueen and Drapion, you could take out all the poison types, or not the poison types, you could take out Gengar's weaknesses with the top first 2, and then Gengar can try to close out. Your safe switch is going to be Shadow Drapion in this instance. As you see, amazing coverage here. Nothing except for Genesect Chill gives you an issue. Now here's the problem with Genesect Chill, or actually the funny part of it. It actually loses the 2 shield straight poison jab. So you could 2 shield, as you see, you could Earth Power to death. You'll lose straight poison. Okay, so I was actually wrong. You actually lose Poison Fang, but here's what happens. So what happens here is that, yes, Genesis Chill wins with 35 energy left. Then what happens in this instance, you can send in Gengar to farm it down and absolutely blow your opponent a new hole in the back row. So, and because Gengar resists Fury Cutter, you won't have to worry about it too much. So basically, you could give up. If you fail to fire, you could double. If you double Poison Fang Earth Power, you win it out. Or you could give up and sack Nidoqueen outright and just literally farm down Genesect Chill and then burn your opponent's back row with Gengar. This Gengar is using Shadow Ball, Shadow Punch. You can use Focus Blast or you could use Psychic. It's really up to you. A lot of the things in this meta that Gengar goes against, you can beat it with straight Shadow Punch or barely beat it with straight Shadow Punch. So the reason I don't like double Ghost Gengar is just because you can get walled by dark types and you don't want to get walled by dark types. So like I said, you could use Focus Blast or you could use Psychic. It's really up to you. So Focus Blast might actually do some good because you're going to hit for neutral damage. But there aren't a lot of targets here with Focus Blast at the same time unless it's an Obstagoon. But as you see here, there's a lot of things you could beat. That outside of Genesect, this team does really well outside of seeing a Genesect lead. And like I already told you the contingency plan. If you do happen to see Genesect in the lead, you can give up Nidoqueen and farm down with Drapion or Gengar. Preferably Gengar, because those Shadow Claw damage will add up, and then you'll have enough energy to blow your opponent's back row to oblivion, given they don't hardwall Gengar for whatever reason. Next up, we have Nidoqueen, Mandibuzz, and Cofagrigus. So this team doesn't really have a true safe switch. You could use Mandibuzz as your switch. Or what you can do is you can attack Nidoqueen in the lead. It's really up to you. But this does feature a triple XL team. So you have Nidoqueen, Mandibuzz, and Cofagrigus. Now the reason why Cofagrigus is such a pain against the poison type meta, not only do you pretty much wall them, but outside of things like Drapion, etc., Psychic will hit for super effective damage against poison types. This team is very bulky and has a lot of coverage. It's going to do very well against multiple combinations. I already told you what to do. If you see Genesect in the lead, you could give it up outright, then farm down with Cofagrigus, or if you do double Poison Fang Bait, then Earth Power, you can outright win the match. This is an extremely bulky team. Cofagrigus and Mandibuzz are both very bulky as your back row, and at the same time, with Mandibuzz having Air Slash, the reason why you want Air Slash is so you get walled by things like Skuntank, or you get hit with like the Galarian Moltres. Galarian Moltres is, not only is it really super inaccessible, that's because you have to incense it, but it's also actually pretty dang good for this cup. It's actually like a top 3 closer, I believe, or something like that, just because it has access to Brave Bird. As you see, a pretty low threat score, amazing coverage, and this team is incredibly bulky. The problem is it is triple XL. So you have access to all these. This team is going to do great for you. Other than that, you're going to be like me, where I'm going to show you a bunch of some teams where you don't actually have any XLs in it. So look forward to that in the next 3 teams. All right, now I feature a team that doesn't have any XLs, but it has 2 legendaries. So unless you wailed for Tapu Fini or you know someone with Tapu Fini, I actually did raid hard for Tapu Fini because I didn't care for it. So that was my mistake, but I'm not spending a dime on Pokemon Go or PvP as of right now until the game changes. And that's probably not going to happen before Scarlet and Violet comes out. So, too bad, too sad. But hey, you know what? We got Giratina Altered, Crobat, Say Switch, and Tapu Fini close out. If you lose the lead with Giratina Altered, Crobat is your Say Switch. However, keep in mind, you don't want Tapu to line up to any of the poison types. You want to take them out with Giratina Altered and Crobat as much as possible. Gengar can give you a hard time with this team, but Gengar and Giratina, yes, Giratina Altered and Crobat lose the 2 shield against Gengar. However, you barely lose it. So you will live, if you look at it, and it's the same thing with Crobat, if you run the 7 and the 2 shield, it's just literally like almost the same exact thing. They live with literally 10 HP left. So what you can do is that you can go ahead and farm down Gengar after you could sack Giratina Altered lead and then farm down Gengar with Tapu Fini or with Crobat and then try to finish off your opponent that way. But keep in mind, with all of the XLs running around here, it's still going to be really rough regardless of whether you do it or not. But this is a pretty solid team with no XLs in it. So if you have all 3 of these, it's great. Otherwise, you might want to just go into Open Ultra League. Except Ultimate Ultra League is terrible. So it's literally, no pun intended, pick your poison for this cup. Alright, next up we got Gengar. Genesect Chill is going to be your Say Switch, and Tapu Fini closes out. Gengar's here to break both of its shields. I'm using Psychic Gengar because if you Psychic through shields, you can scare your opponent a bit, which is why Gengar and Genesect Chill are out here. Mind you, when it comes to Gengar versus Giratina Altered, you beat it straight Shadow Punch anyways. If they're rocking Dragon Breath, Giratina Altered will lose the 2 shield. So as you see here, you could beat it literally going straight Dragon Shadow Punch. So even though this says you aren't going to beat Giratina Altered in the 2 shield Gengar actually beats Giratina Altered. And your back row, Genesect and Tapu, give Giratina Altered a hard time because both of them resist Dragon Breaths. So, very interesting team. Galvantula and Jellicent are your 2 worst nightmares. However, the interesting thing about Jellicent is that in the 2 shield, it loses just because of Shadow Punch. Against Galvantula, it's a different story. With Galvantula, if you call the lunge, you're great. However, the thing about Galvantula is, as you see here, Galvantula in this cup is using Cross Poison. I recommend you use Cross Poison just because of the fact that you need against Tapus. Even if they had Lunge, if your opponent decides to not discharge you for whatever reason, as you see here, Gengar can outright win just using straight Shadow Punch. So there's your 2 biggest weaknesses with this team. Skuntank's your biggest issue with Gengar. As you see here, the 2 shield, you don't really have much of a prayer against it. However, what happens here is that you can Say Switch into Genesect Chill and try to close out with Gengar or Tapu Fini, which Skuntank down shields. Of course, you don't want Tapu Fini dead anyways, because Skuntank's those poison jabs are going to add up. But Skuntank is probably the worst thing you can see unless you can line up against Genesect Chill. Alright, last but not least, we have Shadow Scizor lead, Overquill, and Giratina Altered to close out. So Overquill is a very interesting Say Switch for this cup. And I actually have to do like 5 more raids before I can evolve the Hisuian Quillfish I have into Overquill. So probably going to use my free pass for that. I refuse to spend a dime on Pokemon Go PvP, or maybe I have some I have some other passes out there. But you have Shadow Scizor, Overquill, and Giratina Altered. So Shadow Scizor is really interesting for this cup. As you see, if you look at the overall meta for it, Shadow Scizor versus Nidoqueen is actually pretty interesting. So Nidoqueen can go ahead and straight bully you in the 2 shield, but at the same time it also loses the 2 shield. But the problem is you have to hit an Iron Head. If they call your Iron Head, then you pretty much lose. So you can't go straight Night Slash and then take out Nidoqueen. So as you see here, if you take out this and you just try to go straight Night Slash, as you see, Nidoqueen wins. Barely, but it will. So you have to hit it with Iron Head. So you're gonna have, or if you boost. So if Shadow Scizor boosts, you're going to have a good time. Other than that, it's kind of dicey. But Shadow Scizor is able to beat Skuntank, Genesect Chill, and it also gives a lot of the Pokemon that don't resist its bullet punches a kind of a big problem. And the reason why I call it resistant is because Tentacruel and Tapu Fini both resist steel types because they have the water typing. Also, Shadow Scizor does happen to have a little bit of problem with Giratina Altered in the 2 shield as well. Giratina Altered will win even with Dragon Breath straight Shadow Claw just because Shadow Scizor is so squishy. But if you happen to boost, and like I said, if you call Boost Jesus and Boost Jesus answers your prayers, guess what? You will win this match, which is why Boost Jesus Scizor is very strong. Pretty strong team. You lose the lead, you Stay Switch and Overcoil, and then Giratina Altered closes out. As you see, Renirgus, Bisharp, and Nidoqueen. This team has very awkward weaknesses. As far as you see here, Bisharp's probably going to be the worst one. But the thing is, it's not a super bad matchup. Yes, Renirgus wins, but it doesn't win super hard. And basically what I'm trying to say here is that in a lot of Shadow Scizor's matchup, if you boost once, you usually will be able to get to 2 Night Slashes. You boost 1 out of the 2 and you win the match. You'll win the lead. So you can try for Boost Jesus or not. It's really up to you. Other than that, if you do happen to get the boost, like I mentioned, there's a lot of things that can win out matches for you. And the 2 shield Giratina Altered is also able to beat you as well, but you barely win, which is why I said if you boost in any fashion. For example, we go to sandbox mode right here, we boost in this one, we apply the debuffs, and then bam. Well, actually against Giratina Altered, you boost on the second one, but if you boost on the first one, you win. So yes, just putting that out there. But against most matchups, unless it's Giratina Altered, you can go ahead and win if you are able to boost at least on the first or the second Night Slash, because the third one's going to do a lot of damage. This is probably the best team I would say that I've been able to practice with and figure out that actually does pretty well. But it's still really iffy. And like I mentioned, whoever made this cup, you're a freaking idiot. This is one of the Ultra League specialized cups are the worst balanced ever, because so many XLs just run and dominate the meta. And that's game. It only took me 5 minutes to realize just how terrible this meta is. There's nothing that really breaks anything else. It's just a really big mess and the interesting is some random things work, like Genesect Chill and other legendaries. Well, Tapu's already been gone, but Genesect actually has some use for Ultra League. Actually, do I have a perfect one, I think, for this cup? But you're gonna just see me do a lot of, I'm going to try to make some things work to see if I can make something that, because XLs factually dominate the crap out of this cup. And there's a reason why the top 5 is literally mostly all XLs outside of like Say Switches, where Genesect Chill actually does really well. Do I have a shiny one? No, I don't. No, that's X-Scissor. I swear I have one that's like, okay, that's Technoblast. I need Chill Tech. Yeah, I have a hundo that actually I could probably build for Ultra League. Yeah, I actually have a hundo that I could build for Ultra League. Interesting. At least I'll know I'll win CMP against all the other freaking against all other Genesects, but yes. Unfortunately, this meta is very XL heavy. So what kind of sucks is that you either pick this cup or you pick the other cup, which is also XL heavy, which happens to be Open Ultra League. So pick your poison. Open Ultra XLs were made for one purpose, to make Niantic money. That's why level 50 was put apart, so that they can make more money. It's pretty clear that with this new stickers update they're doing, which is absolutely terrible and hilarious, that how they can screw up the Zorua Spotlight Hour, but you can make stickers. Your first priority is stickers. Seriously, stickers. I wonder how much revenue stickers are actually generating, because they're putting this much effort into it. There are some people out there that are actually wailing on stickers, or making sure they send stickers with every one of their gifts, and it's freaking hilarious. They got, to put in perspective, stickers got a rework before GBL or Raids got a rework. We don't even have a ready up button in Raids yet. We don't have an unranked mode in PvP. We don't have infinite battles in PvP like every other ELO game should. which is why we're still stuck at 2K and possibly going to tank even lower on Twitch and other platforms and have a lower average than, of course, Tier 1 esports, which is to be expected, but still. You see what I mean? Your first thought is a sticker rework instead of other portions of the game. So I'm glad I'm done with Legends this season. I'm going to play my battles or play whenever I can, but other than that, I just really don't care because even despite stickers before game working, I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying the season. The good thing is, the season is almost over. And the good thing is that Scarlet and Violet is almost out too. So, our numbers are going to take even more because more people are going to play Scarlet and Violet versus wanting to go into Pokemon Go PvP because Scarlet and Violet is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to play and make content for it. Without further ado, hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully these teams do help you out since there are now XL versions in it. Good luck on your Go Battle Exits, and I will see y'all on the next video.